heavy.
Very loud. All right. Good morning, everybody. Sorry, we're delayed. We were locked out of the room initially and then we could not get logged into Zoom. So here we are. And gotta pull up the agenda. The first thing is we had minutes from the September 22nd meeting. Did people look at that and they okay?
Okay.
Any, we're supposed to vote on it, I guess. All in favor? Any opposed? No. Tom did do a status of the accounts and if we could, you want to just, you have one with you, right?
I have it out in my car.
Oh.
You put it up on the screen.
Well, I have it on my computer. I'm not on Zoom, so I don't know how to share this here, but anyway, it is up to date. It shows just about everything. And we have $6,473.16 still in our account, which is great. That should get us through the IRS process.
Yeah, and that includes the
Most recent,
most recent Hurwitz bill.
yeah. So that's good. It does list the donors. I don't know whether we want to make that public.
No, I wouldn't think not,
So
but
you might
you could probably just
hide that.
edit it out.
Yeah, hide that thing, so.
Why would that not be in the public domain?
Oh, there's some
There are some who
privacy
has to be anonymous.
so. All right, but that's good. Thank you, Tom. And conservation assessments, Christine isn't here. She's the only one. The city's the only one that hasn't caught up with that. I'm sorry, she's not here to report back.
I know they did the site visit because Barbara went in for a knee replacement and they did it a couple days before she went in.
Okay. And then we had some correspondence from Dan Hershey, who we initially met with Hurwitz. And he's the one who I guess is leading us through the IRS thing, which is good because he's cheaper than the lawyers. So that's kind of nice. And I don't know if you looked at all that correspondence from him, but and I looked at it before I went on vacation and it's not clear in my head this morning, but it seems like we need to give him some information. And so what I would suggest is that the legal group, quote unquote, get together and pull that together and do that. So did anyone go through that stuff and look at it?
I went through it.
Yeah. Seems pretty straightforward to you.
Yeah. It's gonna take some time, but
Yeah,
What is the type of
I
information?
don't remember the detail of it. I just kind of breezed through it, but it was more than what we thought we needed.
Okay,
Yeah, what I initially thought we needed was a budget,
right.
purpose statement,
yeah,
and that was pretty much it.
Mhm.
yeah.
And there's a lot of filler in there that they need.
Okay.
Um. And then, we had talked about having what do we call the group of
Founding members,
founding members, that's what I'm.
Right.
pulled it right out of your brain.
Or put it back in. Yeah, oh boy, vacation does it to you, doesn't it? Yeah, and so after this meeting, we'd like to get together for a little bit and do that. And so I don't know what else to do now then, because I'm,
Motion to adjourn.
well,
Yeah, I know after you had sent that email, Vince, I had had some follow-up questions in terms of the kind of founding members and things like that. Did you, and I know Trevor was on that. Did you ever hear back from Trevor?
yes,
Okay,
yes, the I forget your questions, but I know my question had to do with the city and how those people are appointed, the two are
Yes.
appointed.
right.
And my conversation with the city manager and Trevor, it, and the city manager was going to have a conversation with the mayor,
Mm-hmm.
but Trevor felt that the city manager is the person who needs to sign off on the bylaws.
Okay,
Because the council is a policy agenda and the city manager runs the city. So she has responsibility for all the contracts, things like that. So this falls under that
okay.
and
So she hasn't signed off on I thought everyone was on board on the bylaws. Like the overall, like the bylaws are fully approved, right? Or are we waiting for the city
Well,
manager to?
they have been approved and they've been reviewed. But the city manager is the person who has to sign off on it. And she's at a conference.
Okay.
Okay,
So, and she'll be there this week. In terms of,
So we premature in having this founding members meeting without
Yeah.
having.
probably,
Yeah,
yes. And I would also think the city as a founding member assigns 2 representatives.
Right.
Do we know who those people are that they're signing in?
well,
No.
Right,
and that's the other question
Yeah.
that the city manager had is, whether it has to be a council member or whether the city manager can assign a second
staff
person.
member or something.
And so,
Okay.
and she also said to me that it doesn't have to, we should have 1 staff member, but it could also be a person not on the staff. So,
Like an elected official?
or like a citizens official. She was
Oh.
talking to me about that.
Oh, okay, I see.
So
All right,
keeping me on, so she said if the mayor agrees with that in principle, then she would put me on. If not, I would have to hope for an at-large position, so.
okay. So it sounds like we still need the city manager to weigh in on a few
Yeah.
things before we can meet as founding members, which is fine, but will just take some time.
Yeah,
Okay.
so,
Can we get a meeting with the city manager and get this wrapped up?
yes, but not this week.
So our goal is to have this organization in place by the end of November.
Yes.
So time is
Well,
ticking.
Yeah,
minute, wait a
well, or the
minute.
beginning of November, you know, it would be nice, but
I don't think
I
beginning.
think as soon as the city manager gets back,
I don't,
maybe we could have a meeting.
back to the founding members.
Yeah,
We gotta know how the city's gonna, who they're gonna appoint.
right.
You're not gonna know that by Thanksgiving.
Why not?
We might.
Well,
If she decides she wants to wait for
If it is the,
Official, but I don't know.
if it is the mayor to sign, he would assign me for the rest of this year at least,
okay.
Calendar year.
calendar year, yeah.
So I would propose that we get the mayor and the city manager in the same room
There
in a
you go.
meeting.
Good luck
figure
with
this
that,
out.
but, you know,
No, but that's the point.
Mhm.
You nailed it right there.
Yeah.
yeah,
Thanksgiving's not realistic if we're talking about two people like that. Unless we say to Trevor, get it done. That's a lot better than trying to meet with him and say, get the decision done.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, if we can do it without meeting with them, great.
well, I'm gonna go upstairs and talk to Trevor.
I'm gonna point out the obvious here. It seems to me that the city's holding up progress here.
Yep.
Not only with these assignments, but also with the collection assessments.
Says-
Yeah. I agree, and it's
Maybe that's what I
frustrating to me.
predicted, but here we are.
So I'm just, big picture, we get the founding members together some point in November. It sounds
Yeah.
like is our goal if the
Yeah.
city moves on, getting the people together. This blue ribbon commission sunsets
Sunsets,
on December 31st of this year.
or earlier if
Earlier,
we
okay.
had this organized.
Right, and then the
Does it
board.
sunset if we don't have it organized? I thought it continues.
I thought it was each council gets to decide on blue ribbon.
Yeah, but I mean, we can ask for it to sunset before the end of the year.
Or continue if need, like
Yeah.
if the city doesn't move forward.
Well, I think we're in a different council from when we started, and I don't think we had to ask for continuation.
I think the mayor didn't change though. I don't know that, I
Right.
don't
No,
know
the
that
whole
it's the whole
council
city
didn't change.
council.
Hmm.
Even if the whole
Different
council
point.
changed, but the
But we-
mayor stayed the same, it's the mayor's
But we still didn't have
committee.
to ask for continuation.
Aren't we technically not blue ribbon anymore?
No, we are.
We are,
I think
no,
technically-
no,
Yeah.
it continued.
It did
Yes, oh,
continue?
yeah.
So we requested continuation?
Yeah, and when I talked to the mayor about that, he's, you know, that was the acceptance of our report.
Or,
Yeah.
Okay, so he doesn't get reelected, what happens?
It's up to the new mayor.
Now, there's a new mayor, and that's part of the reason why the city manager thinks that the appointments to this committee or this nonprofit should be done by her rather than
Sure.
by a mayor, gives a little more continuity.
Mhm.
Agreed.
but the mayor makes that decision ultimately, right?
Well, I think he'd be, I mean, I think he recognizes that the city manager is really is responsible for all contracts. I mean,
Yeah.
you know, the council is not responsible for contracts. It's a policy versus an operational issue. And I think that's probably the way it's gonna go.
Yeah. But we're just not the highest priority on their plates right now.
Yeah, yeah, well, they're trying to get reelected. But yes, and then I'm going to meet with the deputy city manager or assistant city manager, deputy city manager for finance. Just see where that contract with, you know, I forget her name, doing the. Barbara is. And just see what's going on. I mean, you know,
To discuss funding?
That's the
Is that,
assessment.
what was the end of your
Yes.
speaking with her about what?
him,
Oh, Barbara,
no.
the deputy city manager that you're,
Is on Nathan,
oh,
and he is the head of finance. And,
just for the meeting minutes to discuss
yeah,
financing. Financing the archive?
well, no, I want to know where the contract is.
You're talking about the
What's
assessment
happening with
contract?
that.
Yeah.
I'm sorry?
The assessment contract.
Yeah. He has also said, and the city manager has said that they think that the city should be the agent for the nonprofit.
Financial agent,
That's fine.
and also run the books, right?
Yeah, oh, yeah, and that goes, that,
Yeah.
I think that also, I'm gonna ask this question of him too, is if that is the case, does that,
Have a meeting with Trevor on all this quickly.
I'm sorry?
Have a meeting with, this isn't as simple as it's, you know, being parlayed.
Right.
At all.
I know,
We need a meeting with Trevor on where we are
Yeah.
quickly.
Mhm.
As simple as that.
That's a legal, the
Yeah.
legal group meeting with Trevor.
Yeah,
Do you think that having the city as fiscal agent might give potential donors the heebie-jeebies?
I don't think so. I think it's just a fiscal agent. It's, one advantage is when the city's books are audited, this gets audited too.
I think all these legal questions about the sunsetting of this committee in the first place, all of them, the assessment contract, the city has to sign off on the bylaws. What happens when we get a new mayor? All that's gotta be parlayed soon.
Yeah.
We're guessing.
right.
I can tell you that Stephanie would love to give up managing it because it confuses our auditors.
Yeah, well, that's good. Well, and Megan has said that he'd be happy to do it.
Make a list for Trevor.
I'm gonna go talk to him. You wanna go with me?
Yeah.
So next step is to get, like, you're gonna go talk to Trevor right now,
Yeah,
but are we also trying to get the legal group together with Trevor in the next week or so?
I'd like to do that.
Is that what we're
Yeah.
saying?
And
Okay.
I'll.
Yeah, if you can ask him some availability.
And since legal group is here, can we maybe get a few dates?
Yeah.
Potential. So I am, I am available. The latter part of this week. I'm pretty open.
Can you call Trevor?
Huh?
Can you call Trevor now?
I could try, I guess.
Find out when he's available.
While Vince is doing that, do we need can we conclude this meeting and let folks go who
Yeah,
Yeah,
need to go?
why don't we do
And
that?
then legal group can stay and figure out the timing.
Good luck, everyone.
While Elizabeth's still here, do you want to close the meeting?
Yes,
Motion to
Motion to
close.
adjourn.
Yeah.
second,
Second.
all in favor? Aye.
Motion to escape.
Bye. Sharon's gonna reach out to you.
Okay.
About.
Great. Thank you. See you soon. Bye-bye.